do ti la la. Do do ti do ti do ti do re mi do ti la la mi re do ti la la mi re do ti la la. Do do ti do ti do ti do re mi do ti la la mi re do ti la la mi re do ti la la. Do do ti do ti do ti do re mi do ti la la mi re do ti la la mi re do ti la la. Do do ti do ti do ti do re mi do ti la la mi re do ti la la mi re do ti la la. That was a that sounded like a song to me, but that was a vocal agility exercise that my guest was doing. So but it sounded like actual song. So yeah, but it's her voice sounds so beautiful. Even just with that exercise alone. So can you imagine if you hear her actually perform? So yeah. So anywho, I just wanted to just I just want to thank you guys so much for those who are tuning in right now, live in real time, or whether you're going to be in the bushes during this episode, or whether you're going to be watching the replay. However, you're going to watch, just watch, because I have some phenomenal people here with me, and my guest is one of them. I'm international, y'all, you guys. I got an international person. I've been wanting this for the longest, because I'm not musically inclined, but I'm a lover of music, and I'm just looking forward to picking this person's brain to just really get into how to use our instrument, because it was so funny because if you saw my interview that I did a few weeks back with Devin Collins, we talked about that, whether or not you being a singer, does that equal being a musician? Because when I think about musicianship, I think about those who plays an instrument. And so it was Devin was enlightening me on how your voice is actual instrument. So we're gonna dive into that. But I'm so looking forward to talking with my guests. Just so I have to make sure that I had on my bra, so I was ready to present to you, introduce to others. I'm a singer, vocal coach, Olubumni Adeyeye. Here we go. And here she is, this beautiful lady right here before you, Miss Adeyeye. Yes, how are you?
I'm doing good. And you?
I'm doing just fine right now. I just
Oh,
got off of work, so that's even better. So,
oh, that's
yeah.
nice. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. No, it's a pleasure because I've always wanted to have someone within within your skill set to be on this platform with me because again, like I told you backstage, I'm a music lover, but I'm not as music inclined as I would like to be. So I'm looking forward to just getting a few because what and I don't know if you follow this person, his Jaron Legrier. He's another vocal coach that's very have a big platform and he does so many different vocal analysis and there's so much lingo and so much terminology that I have an
Yeah,
idea. Like I know I'm a familiar with some of it, but I'm still so fascinated with this. So I'm looking forward to just kind of pick your brain on those things. Yeah.
that's nice.
Right. So I before I get to your backstory, I wanted to kind of get a little bit more into that video, the vocal agility exercise. What is
Yeah.
the overall purpose of that?
So, just like you said, the intention is to really be able to access every part of your voice because we do have a few registers as females. We've got the outside the vocal fry and what we call when we actually sing, we have three. We have the chest, we have the mixed voice, and we have the head voice. So that is just helping to be able to be agile and have to move through those spaces without having this thing we call in music a bridge passaggio where there's that switch, that sudden skip that you feel that something just went like whoa, that you can
Okay.
feel that something was wrong there. So we're trying to make sure everything kind of flows in from one register to the other and then to the next one. So it was really important to kind of strengthen, vocal strengthening was really what that exercise was doing. So it's actually more than one. So typically when I do create my vocal exercises, I try to make sure it's able to do more than one thing because I know,
Gotcha.
we're quite busy. A lot of people have to work
Mm.
long hours and stuff. So I was like, okay, let me sit down and look at how do I create my own vocal exercises in a way that we can target more than one thing and reduce the number of hours or minutes it's going to take to actually work on your voice every day.
But how you made it into a song though, because it's like that's why I say
Yeah.
you have so many things in between, so yeah. So
Because
now how
sadly,
do
back
you
in the
know?
days, when we were younger, vocal exercises were really very boring and stuff. And sometimes that in itself gets us really, we have that, we lack
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
eagerness to do it because then we think it's boring. But a lot of those vocal exercises really do work in helping to address certain issues because for every singer, the weaknesses vary. So sometimes these vocal exercises really help to target things. But when it's too boring and, we're like, okay, we don't want it. So we're like, okay, I can also work on it to make sure it's a little bit more, groovy and to make people more excited to do their vocal exercises, to do their practice because there's actually a difference between practice and rehearsal. And I'm glad that I was able to make a post on that, which really helped a lot of people to know the difference because a lot
Good,
of people
good.
didn't know the difference. A lot of them just, let's go to wherever we're jamming, the band, the group, the choir, let's go
Mhm.
there and sing. But that's the rehearsal. The
Mm.
practice, that one you do when no one is there with you, you and all your music resources that you want to use to work on your voice. So practice is one of those things that those kind of vocal exercises are designed for. And so I wanted it to be very interesting so that people could actually devote time to that practice. Because when you practice adequately, it will show at rehearsals.
Yes,
You will
of
make
course.
lesser, yeah, you will make lesser mistakes. If you're to lead a song, you will be very reliable. They know you're not going to come there and then drag everybody back and you're like, oh, sorry, I just missed the thing there. So it really helps
Mm.
you. Practice helps you to deliver better at rehearsals and eventually on stage.
So, what are you, soprano, alto what do you sing?
So typically, we usually do advise that people don't kind of put themselves in a box,
Got
even
mm,
though we
mhm.
have to do so. But within my range, I'll say I'm more of a mezzo soprano. Yes, but we don't advise people to really like focus on that, especially when it comes to choirs. There's a lot of times when they ask which part, some people say alto, that's not part of the voice types, and so a lot of people have kind of gotten that, mixed up and mixed up and stuff. So I'll say within my range, based on what I can sing, even though I can hit soprano notes, when we look at range, we don't just look at how high you can sing alone. We can also look at other factors that determines where your voice is. So for me, I'll say I'm more of a mezzo soprano.
Okay, and, I'm still listening. I just wanted to take myself off camera real quick, but I'll be right back, but I'm
Okay.
still listening. I'm still
All
listening.
right. So,
Yeah.
okay. So
So
based on that,
okay.
so a good example of that is when people are in the choir and they say they sing alto, and then when they're in public and you ask them, about their voices and they say alto, and I'll be like, well, that's not really a thing outside the choir. It's more of, parts in the choir. And so sadly, that has also actually contributed to a lot of people being boxed up in that voice type thing. So typically, I always advise people when it comes to when people ask you questions about your voice type, just say, well, I can do certain ranges, but I'll say when we look at the voice types, I can place myself in the mezzo soprano or soprano or
Mhm.
contralto. Yeah, that's it.
How no, I was gonna ask you, how does one really determine their voice type? Because, um, I always thought of myself as being soprano, but I'm not really sure right now. Because, and you know what? Believe it or not, my voice actually got deeper when I had my son, so now, I mean, I'm not a singer like that, but I just how does one know, like, how do you know, where to take your voice?
All right.
If that
So
makes sense.
yeah, yeah. So we do have a few tests that we run to be able to determine where your voice type is. One of such is, starting from your lowest to your highest. What can you sing? What's the lowest note you can sing? So we have like a chart. I have that on my page as well, where we look at it. Okay, you can sing as low as C3, or you can sing as low as F3, and then you write that down, and then we test as well how high can you sing. So we try to look at how many octaves you can sing without having to stretch your voice beyond it being comfortable. That's one of the first ways we look at it, but that's not enough. We still have to look at
Right.
your timbre, yeah, your timbre, how you're able to sing, because it's a different thing hitting those notes. It's a different thing applying it. When you actually want to sing, can you hit those notes comfortably when you have a song to sing that maybe has a lot of those high notes there? So we look at the test on the keyboard. How high can you sing? How low can you sing? And then we look at the timbre, the quality of the voice, the depth of the voice. So there are a few things we look at to really determine um, what a person's range really is.
So where do you begin though? Because like, okay, because you already set the foundation, like you just mentioned, that's the foundation
Yeah.
right there. You
So
try different keys. So where do
yeah.
you begin? Does a person
So
start
that's
singing?
usually what I, yeah, so that's the first thing I do usually
Yeah.
advise. Start and test how low, how high you can sing. Sadly, I'm not back home in Nigeria. I would have I brought out my keyboard to like, do a little example for you. So we try to press the notes, try to match the pitch and see, then we try to take it to the lowest, and then we also look at the highest, and then we calculate that way. So if you're able to sing an F3, and let's say to an F6, we know, okay, you can sing 3 octaves. That's just one of such. Because for soprano, we typically have on that chart C6, that a soprano should be able to sing. But there are some people who can go way beyond that C6.
Right.
Yeah, we
Right.
have some people who can whistle. So when we look at that, we write that down. That's one of the first tests. Then we really look at it. How are you able to, what's the depth of the voice, the timbre of the voice? When you sing, when you sing certain things, how rich or how light is it? So for you now, that's one of the first things you'll look at. You'll try some songs. People like Karen Clark-Shield or all of those people we know are right there up there, sopranos. Try to sing those songs. Do you think you can hit those notes? And it's easy to get there. So if you're doing that, so aside the vocal coach, now this is just an advice
Mhm.
based on that. But if it's a vocal coach, we have other things that we look at. But just for you to say, okay, let me try to see based on what I have at my disposal, what is just try some songs and see how your voice matches with those songs. Do they sound comfortable when you sing the song? Try different keys, songs on different keys. So if you try one on an original key and it feels like it's not really there, you can change the key, change it higher or lower. Just begin to
Make it
play
right.
around. So in music, we have something we also call tessitura, where there's just certain places in your voice that feels right when you sing on those keys, like you feel like you're really good, like you feel good about yourself. That is also different for each person. So we also look at that as well when we are trying to see what the voice type is. Tessitura, okay, if I sing on a C4, and I sing a certain song on C4, does it feel nice or it feels too dark? It feels too light, it's too high, or just feels comfortable? So we try to look at that window of keys within the, okay, yeah, I can sing between, I notice when I sing within, let's say I sing between C4 to a G4, I feel like my voice sits beautiful regardless of the
Mm,
song. If the song is too
right.
high, I sing on a C4. So you see, we have like a window of keys in the tessitura that kind of helps us to narrow down that, okay, if you can sing on these certain keys, there's a possibility that you might be this vocal type. And it does change with time, just like you said. When you had your
Yeah,
song,
yeah.
your voice did go deeper. So I too, when I was younger, I was a soprano. Even though as a soprano, I was still singing the soprano too. So we could technically say it has been there that I've been in that mezzo. But when I did get to a certain age, around let's say 24, 25, my voice changed,
Yes. Yes.
drastically changed. And then so I had to start beginning to figure out where my voice was again. And I noticed the certain keys I was singing on then didn't feel right. My textura
Mm,
changed
mm.
drastically. And so, and also it was not just all negative. The depth of my voice became richer. It became much more, the quality, the color was better than what it was, even when I could sing higher. So you see why the
Oh, I
voice
love
type is
yes, yeah.
yeah, so it doesn't mean brighter means better. It doesn't mean
Right.
louder is better. It's just you really understanding what your voice sounds like in certain places and certain places at your head register. How does it feel? Your mixed voice, how does it feel? Your chest, how does it feel? So that's something you can do on your own without needing a vocal coach to do that for you.
So, but I wanted us to like, can you do like a quick demonstration for us? Because I want to like, so that people could kind of put what you're saying, into more context, Can you can we do like a quick demonstration of what you like to kind of find where my voice is? Can you do
Okay,
that?
so for example, so like I said, I don't have a keyboard here, but I could do a little example. So, for example, if I want to test my tessitura right here on the song is his eyes is on the sparrow. Why should I feel discouraged? So already I feel it's too low. I'm already struggling with that. That was not right for
Mm,
me. But it doesn't
mm,
mean it's not going to be okay for some other singer.
right.
It just means for me, that was just not it. So then I'll try to trace it again. If I'm in front of a keyboard, try to go a little bit up, a whole note or maybe a half note. And then I can try at this point now. Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Already, you can already hear the brightness in my voice already. That's better.
Yes.
My voice is well placed there. So
Yes.
understanding how that works in the real world of music. So sometimes you hear some singers, they're good, but they're just singing on the wrong
Wrong.
key.
Yes. Yes, that's
Absolutely. So
true.
you can see the difference, how just understanding your key can completely change the way you sing and how you understand more about your voice and your voice type and how to use it in music.
Yeah, are you able to see the comments, Olubummi? Are you able
Okay.
to
Oh,
see?
thank you. All right. Thank you. I saw that. Thank you so much. So that's just an
Yeah.
example of if I was at home, I'll, do more keys, like go all up there, try to belt for you and hear all of that as well. So when it feels comfortable, all right, this is right around my hour, right around what is good for me. But if it's then too high, I know even though it sounds right to the whoever's listening, is sounding very, very harsh to the ear. So those ways we are able to do it. So
True.
if you
Mhm.
yeah, so for those who do have choir directors, we are able to do that. Where we give you the same song, we just try it on different keys to kind of see where you're comfortable. And so that was an example of that.
Yeah, thank you for that. And can you please
Mhm.
tell us the difference between head voice and chest voice? Can you give
Oh,
us
so
can you
yeah.
describe it and sing it, please, if you don't mind?
Right. So yes, but the chest voice is really right as I'm speaking to you now. So
Okay.
we actually do place our chest voice just right about where we do our speaking. Oh,
Ah,
Amen. Oh, okay, it's very
ah,
complicated. Yeah, confuse the vibration right there.
ah, ah,
Yeah. So when you
ah.
speak, yeah, so you can speak. Hello. So that's an example of it being chest where it's very full, like your full voice. So when someone says sing with your full voice, that's what they're talking about, like sing the chest
Oh,
voice, like, fill it up,
right.
yeah, go all
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
yeah. And so there's a difference. There's actually something in the middle before we go to head, but I'm just going to skip that and go straight to the head. So it's lighter, yeah, and more right there, nasally. Yeah, just right there. So you feel like you can't feel any vibration here when you do that.
Right, right,
Definitely not. So we've moved the resonance somewhere else in the body, right within the vocal tract, right? So that's the difference. And then there's always someone in the middle. So really, you have to also know how to use that in music because you don't want to
right.
sing something like, amazing grace, how sweet the sound. You don't want to do that on head voice.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that would yeah,
It just sounds
right,
very muddy and stuff. So understanding where they are helps in knowing what to do and even the right keys as well to use,
right.
depending on what the song requires.
So when do you okay, so you use that example of when to use a chest voice when you said you sang Amazing Grace just now. So when do you use the head voice? And what time do you
Yeah,
use the
so
head voice?
simply it's the key that really determines
The
that.
key, okay.
Yeah, because I can't be singing a C4 on the head voice. It's just not where the placement should be is way too low to even access that head
Mhm,
voice
mhm.
properly. So a lot of times the key determines where you are, but then experience at a certain time now determines how you use it when you're getting up to the head voice. Are you going to decide to do some belting there? Are you going to do some growling there, some squirreling there? So that's where technique starts to come in when you're around the head voice, but you can't really head voice on very low notes.
Yeah, I really
of
wish you had
music.
your keyboard with I really wish you had a keyboard
I
so you
know,
could
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Yes,
back in Nigeria yet, sadly.
yeah, but no, this is good. I mean, I'm really so let me ask you because we'll get like I said, we'll get to your backstory, but I just want to kind of stay here for a moment,
Yes,
because I think it's very important that we get the gist of, like I said, the foundational aspect of the voice, you know,
yeah,
and how it comes together and how it all flows when it comes to the
yeah.
music. So I want to kind of stay there for a moment. But so
Okay.
now, in your own words, in your own words, in your perspective, what makes a good singer?
That's a really good question. So, really, what makes a good singer first is having an identity. That's
Mm,
the first thing. You have to really know
yes,
who you are
yes,
musically and what you want to achieve. And then you have to have the skills because knowing who you are, knowing what you want, and being able to actually do deliver that to the people who are going to listen to you is also very important. So the skill important, and then who you are as a singer as well. Sometimes some people do confuse singing, being a good singer, with so many vocal embellishments in music, too many riffs, runs.
yes,
That's not really it. The ability to be
right,
able to interpret the music. What is
yes,
the music asking you? Are we, for example, are you singing a praise song? So how are you going to deliver it? How's your voice texture also going to deliver that song? Are you singing a song that is really melancholic in nature, something really subtle? We also need to be able to hear that emotion in the voice. So, good singing comes from just being able to know yourself, know what who you are and what message it is that you want to deliver. Because I've met so many good singers who you just never get to see that good singing in them, sadly, because they're not singing
mm-mm,
what they want to sing. It's like
right,
people are giving them an identity and like roll with this. But the very moment a singer first gets their identity, who are you? What do you want? Have you known who you are as a singer? And have you gotten a certain level of skills? Because now we are beginning to see the difference between talent and singing. There's so many great singers out there that sadly are not, out there in the public. So that's where we kind of do a
true,
separation between just the talent and then being able to sing. First, we want you to all definitely be able to sing enough for people to sit down and listen. We don't want
yes.
people like, yeah, closing their ears and like, oh, wow, that's bad. So as much as we want you to know who you are, we also want you to back it up with the skills. So good singing, obviously being able to stay on pitch, pitch accuracy is very important, and when you're able to do that, is your voice free when you sing? Is there tension? Do you have good breath support when you sing? Do you have
Mm,
good vocal support? Do you have good posture when you sing? So those are some of the good things that we can right away see when a good singer sings. How do you do your phrasing when you sing? Do you cut off your notes at certain times? So for we who
mhm,
are more experienced in looking at singers, are you able to control your voice in a way that you don't have to yell? Because so many,
right,
especially when we go on the high voice notes, a lot of people tend to want to go there with that force. But when you have that
yes,
good balance, vocal
right,
control, you hit those notes without doing too
without much
much.
effort. Mhm,
Yeah. So good singing is all of that. And of course, like they usually say, the ability to, engage and
mm, yes.
um, have that connection with those who are listening to you.
Yeah, well said. And so, Olubummi, so I'm a new student, ma'am, and I want to learn how to sing. I want to not perfect it, but I want to sound, kind of decent now. So I'm your new student, and so how are we going to start, Miss Olubummi? I'm your new student, and I want to learn some things.
Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do, of course, find out what's your history. Have you sung before? Is this your first time? Do you come from a family of singers? Because some of those
No,
people are just naturally gifted.
in the
You
shower,
can't be born in a
maybe.
family. You can't be born in a family of someone like Karen Clarkshield and not know how to sing. Like you're
I
around that, and
wish.
then yeah, when I get to know a little bit about that, if you do have any history or not, then I need to find out if you can sing on pitch, because that's the first thing. For you to be able to sing, we need to be able to make sure you stay on key. So we're going to
But I
do a
wanna
pitch
sing, so
test.
give me some things to sing, Miss Olubim I
Yeah. So
wanna sing. I wanna sing now. I don't wanna hear all that
yeah,
stuff. I
yeah.
don't wanna
So
hear
we
all
don't do
that.
that.
Do
That's it. We
you
don't go that way.
do you get people like that though that come in? I just wanna
No,
sing. I wanna sing.
Yeah, what we get sometimes is, I want to sound like you. And I'm like, okay, then you have to put in the work. If you can
Yeah,
stay up many hours some days, you're tired after a very busy day, like I had today, and I'm still going to have to do my practice. And if you can put in all that work, you will get there eventually. So yeah, we might have a few people, but for some good reason, I've not really had that. Because
no.
for you to even
Oh,
sing, yeah, you
yeah.
have to be able to stay on pitch. We don't want you to sing and then change keys 5 times before you end just the verse. So we have to find out if you're able. So the foundation, so that's what we're talking about. The singing foundation is
Yeah,
what we
yeah,
start
yeah.
with. Yeah, we don't rush into that. I just want to sing. So we have to lay the good foundation. Can you actually sing on pitch? And then we start off with now testing how high and how low can you sing, just to see where your voice is, to make sure we do not create any form of damage to the voice. So
Mm,
when you're able to sing a certain note, I know, okay, if this person was unable to sing this, I'll be very careful when I'm asking you to sing a song. I'll give you a key based on what I heard you share with me when I tested your range. I'll determine that because when I teach, what is important to me is the longevity of the voice. And that's one of the things that I pay more keen attention to. It's easy to just say, let me give you something that's going to give you that temporary high, start singing and all. But I try to lay that foundation, that healthy foundation, that in your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, you're still singing. And luckily, singing is one of those skills and talents that if you do it well, if you're good at what you
yes.
do, you'll be doing this way into your 60s, 70s. One of those,
True.
talents that don't grow old necessarily, especially if you've proven
Yes.
yourself that you deliver every time you hold the microphone. So when we
Yes.
do that little test and I see where you are, then I will let you sing. I'll let you do your thing. But based on what I've heard, I'll just try to guide you through it because I've noticed that when I do not guide, sometimes the keys just way, maybe due to nerves, they just pick the wrong key and then try to yell. So I just pick a key. So you see why I always try to make sure that that pitch accuracy is important. Once I give you that one key, try to sing anything of your choice. So maybe you like to sing for us right now. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. I wanna sing, I wanna sing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sing. Anything you like.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's see what I wanna sing. Um, because I'm like I said, I'm such a lover of music, so I'm trying to see like which, you know, hmm. God, now I can't even think of anything now. You
And
see,
this is
you got me
exactly
so
what
excited.
happens. And
Huh?
that is exactly how it happens every time. They come in
Yeah.
excited and everything. So I always try to give this song the very easy, Amazing Grace. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
just sing
no,
Amazing
I
Grace.
had one in mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I had
All
one
right,
in mind.
that's
Okay.
good.
I don't feel no waste time. I come too far from where I started from.
All right.
Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me.
Okay, so let me just quickly correct something now. So I feel like your voice can still be deeper.
Okay.
I just can't give up now. So just try to give me like that. Cool. You can put one hand here and then one hand right here, the bottom of your, yeah, right there where your diaphragm, and just whoo, like imagine that there's a young child in front of you that you're trying to like shoo away from something
Ooh,
really dangerous. Whoo, that whoo,
ooh, ooh,
whoo.
ooh,
So think about it, like if a child actually hears you do that, like if that's your no, will that child listen? Will that child see that urgency to leave there? Whoo,
ooh,
whoo, whoo.
ooh.
I so try to do that whoo one.
I,
Again, whoo.
I,
I
I,
keep singing on that. That's it.
I just can't give up
So that
now.
now, when we say now, we do open up, right? I just can't give up now. So when you give that half mouth, it's like you're like trapping your sound in there. So now, so try it again. Ooh,
I just can't give up now.
keep going, keep going. That's it.
I come too far from where I
Keep your voice.
started.
Come too far from where. Remind you, listen singing. We want to feel that chest. Come too far from where I. Good. So, like, listen to that. I already know a few exercises I'll give you to kind of help you to really like have that brain and muscle kind of connection to understand where your chest is, so that you can stay grounded there and there won't be that kind of fluctuation of sound. So, but you did very well for first try. Not bad. Well done. So you see the importance of understanding where the resonance is of each register is supposed to be. And then it helps you to kind of open up more. And we sing the way we speak. So if we don't say no this
Right.
way, if we don't do no, because it's not going to come out right. You can't sing and do that no as well. We need to have some certain openness and then not too much. So yeah, we just have that balance. And then some vocal exercises to just kind of make you more comfortable on certain keys. So on the same
Right.
key, you're going to do a certain exercise just to make sure your voice doesn't kind of fluctuate. And then after a while, we kind of do chromatic scales just to like see how you can stay, on that
On
ear
that. Right.
training just to make sure you're there. But that was good.
Thank
So that's it.
you.
Cool. So sometimes if you want to remember where your chest voice is and maybe you can't really remember that, who,
Ah,
so after a while, you don't need
ah.
to do those things. Your brain just gets it. It's time to sing on chest. It's just going to come out right. And
Yeah,
then if you
so
want to
now
access, yeah, if you want to access the other registers as well, sometimes we just do the siren, but we don't do it too much. We'll do wee and then back, just to
oh,
help
okay.
kind of really understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you do the siren, you're actually accessing all those registers anyway. So then teaching the brain how to understand where they are mentally and then just sing there anytime the song requires you to be there.
Yeah, so let me ask you, when someone is flat, how does it sound when someone is flat?
Okay, so um, we know when someone is flat when there's a key. So if there's no key, we can't say someone is flat. So when they give you a key and then you're singing a semitone, or in some countries they call it a half tone below that, or maybe a tone below that, then that person is flat. Or when it's sharp, we're saying the person is half step
But
over the key.
can you give us an example of how that sounds when one is
Yeah.
flat?
So all right. So sad. I hope I can do that because I have trained my ear so much not to be able to do the
Right, to
wrong
not
thing.
do
But
that. Right.
again, yeah. So I just can't come to from where I start. So the voice just being all over the place. Yeah, that's an example of what
Oh,
it's like. Where,
okay.
yeah, we're hearing the song, but then it feels like the voice is, modulating or doing some
It's all
transposing.
over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so now, how do you, this is like a personal one for you. How do you preserve your voice? What are the things you do to take care of your voice?
Yeah. So again, one of those things I don't joke with is the foundation of my voice. I don't do too much speaking. I don't speak when I do not have to speak.
Got you.
Um, yeah, and I do not. I make sure I do not speak over loud noise too much.
Mm,
So those are the
mhm.
first most important things. Some of the habits we adopt every day, where our kids annoy us, we're yelling at the top of our voices, or we're in a very public environment and we want to like convey an information and then we start to yell. I try to make sure I do not do that to the best of my abilities, even though sometimes I can't control it. So there's another thing I do, and I do recommend it for a lot of people. We call it vocal load, where you have to know um, for each day, what can your voice really take? At what point do your voice kind of feel sore or like feel quite tired? Like you feel it inside you internally that I feel like I have overused my voice. When you get to a point where you really understand how your voice works. So, for example, if I've had to speak for so long, like I'm doing now, and I have to speak for a long time, I know I'm going to have to reduce the number of minutes that I'm going to have to
Mm,
use for my practice. Because if I do not factor the fact that I've done this and I've had a busy day as well, I'm
right,
pushing my
right.
voice to a limit that is not designed for. And the more the voice gets sore and I have to wait days for it to heal and it starts to have nodules and things that can be preventable, it has this lasting negative impact on the voice. So one of the
Mm,
first things I do is I make sure I kind of understand based on each day. how much I have used my voice. And when we speak, it's part of it. So a lot of people think it's only the singing time they have to calculate, but that's false. Every time you open your mouth, we're using our vocal folds, it's vibrating. And so you have to factor how long it took you to speak or to do your job at work or whatever it is. And then also know that's going to also help you in knowing how long it takes you to sing. And then a very important thing is to warm up the voice. I do not joke with that. To warm up the voice before singing. And I
Yeah.
know a few singers, especially someone like Jennifer Hudson, has said she doesn't warm up. She just wakes up and holds the microphone and she does a thing. Well, not everyone is like that. You know, there are just a few human beings in this world that are that great and special. Someone like her.
Right. Right.
Um, but a lot of people, if they do that, that voice is not going to last long. It's definitely not going to last long because it's just like when you go to the gym, you're not going to get there first thing in the morning and start carrying heavy weights or your cardio. You're
Mhm.
going to
Gotta
stretch.
stretch.
You're going to do some
Mhm.
form of warm up. And our voice, our vocal folds are also, filled with muscles. So we also have to do some form of stretching before we do singing. So I don't joke with that. I warm up my voice, and we have certain exercises we call SOVT exercises, semi-occluded vocal tracts exercises, like lip trill. We have humming. The brr, 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 something like that. We have the yeah, some
Mhm.
have to do this, just keep it gentle. We have the tongue trill as well. We have the humming. We have the just some of those things that gives you that semi use of your voice. So that's what we start with. And then breathing exercise, I do that as well afterwards because it helps you as well to control how your vocal fold vibrates. So the more you understand or how the more you are able to hold your breath on this or any other sound you choose to make or without even making any sound, how long you can exhale healthy without feeling some form of some cutting off or anything. It helps in the long run to do that. So that's some of the ways that I do take care of my voice. And then I don't take things that are too cold.
Oh,
Those by
right. Right.
choice, yeah. Because well, they say we don't whatever we eat or drink doesn't actually get to our vocal folds in any way. But I have noticed personally that when I have something that is cold, maybe few minutes or hours before I need to sing, I just feel some form of stiffness inside. So
Mm.
I tend to
Mm.
keep what I drink lukewarm, not necessarily hot, because then we don't want to burn the throat or
Right.
anything. Just
Right.
something lukewarm. So I also look at what I drink as well. Very important to me. And then how I practice. That's another way I keep my voice. I know how to make sure that I'm able to still do what I need to do without doing lots of yelling, but still able
Yes.
to address what I want to get done. So those are some of the things I do to keep my voice.
Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm just loving this. I'm enjoying this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, now, has there been a time where, you strained your voice, or there was a time where you had, some issues with your vocal cords? Because or any time where, you had some type of vocal
Yeah.
exhaustion, excuse me,
Yeah.
you know, and how do can you give me some examples of how if those occurred or not, and how did you, remedy those things?
Yeah. So it has happened a few times. And the last time that happened was in 2023. I think 2024 December. I had quite a lot of recordings I did, and I was supposed to be at a rehearsal. And one of the ways that that happens easily is singing out of your range. It is okay to change keys to songs when they're not in your range. And even though I had gotten myself all worked up doing so many musical gigs, I refused to change the key. I mean, we were in a rehearsal. I could have just changed the key and kind of rest my voice till the day of, but I sung on that key. And because I felt that tiredness, I was putting in too much force than I typically would just to get to that high note. And there was a time I sang one and I did that belting and I felt my vocal folds fold in a way that it
How does
had
that
never happened
feel?
before.
How does that
The
feel like when you
discomfort, like it feels like, yeah, it feels like a violin was just plopped. Like it's strange. It should just go up and down, but it felt as if it was like it was weird. And I knew something had happened that was really bad. And after that rehearsal, I tried not to speak. I thought that was just going to be enough. I'm not going to speak for the day. And whenever I don't want to speak, I just put on a face mask all day. And my family, we do have sign languages. We just used to communicate. But then the next day, and I was supposed to
Mhm.
sing that song. 3 days with the group I was rehearsing with. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to rest my voice today. I'll be fine tomorrow. But the next day came and the voice was like, mm-mm. I'm like, this has never happened to me before. And then the second day came, no better. And that was the day before the performance. And on that same day, I
Right.
felt, okay, now I can try to sing. And the very moment I opened my mouth, I knew something really bad had happened here. And then I had to start making calls. And I'm sorry, this is the first time I'll have to do this, but I can't do this. Like, I feel like I've really taken my voice to a place that it shouldn't have gone to. And it took
Right.
me about 6 weeks to heal.
Mm.
And typically, a lot of
Oh,
times it takes about just 3 to 10
wow.
days to heal, but it took 6 weeks because I
Oh,
had never felt my vocal folds do that before. It was a strange feeling. And
right.
so that was the first, I won't say that's the first, but that was
Yeah.
the first severe
It
one
took some
I
real
ever had.
reconditioning.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. After at that point, I knew I just had to take some time off, no singing, no teaching, nothing. And it
Wow.
took me that
Yes.
time. Because typically we do advise, even when you have that sore throat, try to, use your voice a little bit. Don't just go and keep your voice and do nothing. Still do little things, but I knew it was that bad. I couldn't do anything else than just to let it rest.
Yes, let it rest. And yes, so I'm glad you did that, and I'm glad your voice is back. But I
Yeah.
also I want you to hear something, Olubummi. I'm not gonna be able to put the video up because I'm gonna, like I said, I don't want you two to piss me off. But but I want you to hear something. I don't know if you're familiar with Murray Clayton. She used to sing with the Rolling Stones. There's a song called "Give Me
Okay.
Shelter." And
Okay.
so, it was a story behind it to where, she was called I think she was called real late to the
Mhm.
studio. She was pregnant at the time.
Oh,
And so
wow.
you hear her voice crack, which is so amazing to me. I like to hear the flaws in certain tracks as well. I don't know about you, but, I want you to hear this, and I want you to give me your take on it, alright?
All right. Let's go.
Alright, alright. Let me see.
Is it playing? Can't seem to hear anything.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Is
I'm
it
sorry?
playing?
Yeah, it
Is
was
the
playing.
video
You didn't hear
playing?
it?
Oh, no, no. I
It
don't
was
know. Can
playing.
anyone else hear it? No,
Yeah, I don't know. Can
it's not,
someone in the chat?
it's not
Yeah, it was
audible.
playing. Oh, wow. I'm surprised you didn't hear it. Oh,
No.
wow. Let me see if I can, see if I can put it let me see if I could share the screen and just,
Okay.
do it that way because I really want you to hear it.
Okay.
Um, alright, so let me see if I can, I guess you didn't hear it at all?
I could hear something slightly, but couldn't really place it what I was
Okay.
listening
You
to.
couldn't
But it did
place it?
sound like
Okay.
music. Yeah.
Okay, so let me see if I can do it this way. And let me just let me know if you can hear it now.
Okay.
Alright. Matter of fact, I should be able to pull it up. Let me do it like
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Rain,
Yeah, this is it.
Okay.
it's just a shadow away. It's just a shadow away. Rain from yeah. It's just a shadow away. It's just a shadow away.
Hmm. What is it?
Rain, it's just a shadow away. It's just a shadow away. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was Murray Clayton, "Give Me
Yeah, that was
Shelter,"
beautiful. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes some vocal cracks do not sound
Yes,
bad.
yes.
That didn't sound bad at all. It sounded good. But if she was pregnant, there are a few factors that can be the cause of that. A lot of times when we do take our breath, when we fill up the lungs, certain things are going to happen. The muscles are going to expand, and then the diaphragm is going to go down and give room for the lungs to do its thing. But imagine with a pregnant woman, which I've which
Yes.
I've also experienced as a pregnant woman, we have shorter breath at that time because there's just very little room for anything else to move.
Mhm.
Like the baby's right there in the middle. So it could have been that, and it could just have been an adrenaline. Maybe it's just the fact that she was in the music. But a lot of times crack happens because there's that form there was like a disconnect with the vocal folds, the oscillation process. So That's why sometimes it happens like that. So, but hers didn't sound bad. But again, like you said, it's one of those things. There's no perfect singer. You know, we've had
Right.
a few times where we miss it, even though we're doing all the right things. Sometimes we just don't get it either because we're in the emotion. The emotion is kind of taking over us, or
Yes.
we're
Yes.
overthinking the musical notes. Like listening to her, you can hear some of those notes are quite on the high side. So sometimes we overthink. And it's not just the thing with just the upcoming singers, even the professionals. They do have their insecurities
Oh,
as well
yes.
when singing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so
Yeah.
it could have been that she
I
was
always
short of
wondered
breath.
because when I hear that, I'm like, does her throat is I'm like, does one throat get scratchy because when I hear straining or cracking, like,
Yeah.
does one
So
does the throat get
yeah,
scratchy? Like, how does that?
yeah. So when you sing high notes, there's something we call CT muscle and the TA muscle, the
Yes.
cricothyroid muscle. So anytime we sing high notes, it stretches. So it's right. It should stretch when she's singing the
Right.
high note. And then we're
Okay.
singing the chest notes. We need that TA muscle doing its thing. We have us that you know, depth in the voice. So she did everything right, like she should
Yeah.
have. That's what
Mhm.
I'm saying. That listening to it,
Mhm.
it was just clearly either she was just, having to deal with the fact that she had little room in there to really kind of support her voice as well as she would have preferred if she didn't have a baby, or it was just maybe just the emotions. Wasn't
Yes.
bad at all. Loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but thank you for that. Yeah, thank you so much for
Okay.
that. Yeah, I was looking
Okay.
forward to getting your take on that because I was like,
Yeah.
actually, I
Yeah.
had you in mind, and I was like, okay, when I have her on, I'm definitely going to play this Murray Clayton for her
Yeah,
and see
because
what she.
she's one of the great good singers. So we know she's
Yeah,
not having any technical issues going on there. She
absolutely.
knows the onions, so it was just probably, one of those things.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you for that. So
Yeah.
now that we there, I'm gonna give I'm gonna just come up with a few singers, and I want you to give me um your honest feedback about this like whether you could think they can sing or not.
Okay.
You know? All right,
Yeah.
so Beyonce.
Do you want to play, or you're just
No,
calling
no,
the
I'm not
names?
no, I'm asking, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't yeah, no, 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 you just let me know. Like, I'm just put the names out there.
Okay. All right. So with Beyonce, and I remember I had a post up a few weeks ago, and it was like a battle in the comment section, and I was like, wow, where they even
Mhm.
though the post had nothing to do with comparing Jennifer Hudson and Beyonce, but for some strange reason, they seem to think it was so. And then the fans
'Cause
of Jennifer
words are
went like
kind.
the best, and
Yeah,
Beyonce was. So here's the thing: Beyonce is an amazing singer.
okay.
But one thing you
And
need to understand is that every voice is different. We call it
yes,
in music vocal type, vocal
yes.
weight, sorry,
Mhm,
vocal weight.
mhm.
For everyone differs. Some
Yes,
things,
right.
some factors are there that determines that sometimes it's our genetics, the thickness of the vocal folds, the size of our vocal folds are so different. And so with Beyonce, she has more of a light vocal weight compared to singers like Jennifer Hudson, who has like a really, really heavy one. So she's good. She's good with vocal embellishments.
I
She's
think so.
good with vocal improvisations. And she can do all of that and dance at the same time. It shows
Yes.
a lot of vocal control to be
Dance
able to do
hard.
those things. I mean,
Yeah.
she sang songs like Listen. She has quite a few
Yes.
songs that are quite up
Mhm.
there.
Yes.
16 Carriages. Like, there are some songs that when you hear it, you will know this lady is good. She's
And s
beautiful. Yeah, she
I'm
just has a
sorry.
different vocal weight, but it is beautiful and
And
undeniably an amazing singer.
okay, so, Faith Evans.
I've not really
Oh, you ever heard
gotten to
her
listen to her
her
much, but I know from back in the day, Notorious B.I.G., right? Um, I'll say she's average. I wouldn't really say she's like really, really up there, but she can sing. But when we look at the other things, techniques, and I'll say she's cool. She's there, but not really at the top yet.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Johnny Gill.
I don't know if I know who that is.
Johnny Gill, New Edition. Um, he's famous for Rub You the Right Way. Let me see.
Mm.
My.
I don't think I've
Ish.
like taken time to like
Okay.
really listen to the voice like that. I've heard
I'm
the name,
sorry.
but I don't think I've like
You never okay.
I've heard the name, but I don't think I've really kind of
Okay.
listened
Okay,
to
that's
the
fine.
voice.
Okay. You might be under a rock, Olubami, but okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
All right. So, Miriam Makeba.
Oh, I mean, of course, these are one of the legends right there when it comes to, So the thing there is, it's easy for us to think, oh, well, she sings a certain style of music, African music, but I mean, what she's doing with that voice just goes to show how good she is. She's right
Hmm.
there. I mean, she's also a very, very good singer. I love her. If I'm not wrong, I think she sang a song Pata Pata, right? Is
Yes.
that the
Yes.
one? Yeah, Pata Pata. And I remember in our church we do the Christian version of it. I mean, and I listen to her do her thing and just hear that the cleanliness of the tone of her voice, the steadiness of the voice, the vocal control. I mean, she's good. Absolutely. She's very good. Yeah.
Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye. I mean, again, one of those people I've not really listened to much. I've just heard his story. But I mean, a few times that I've heard the voice, I mean, we can't dispute or the fact that the voice is silky. There's just something about the voice that is just very soothing
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
Marvin. I mean, really good
Yes.
singer, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
One more. Daryl Coley.
Holy.
Are you
Oh,
familiar with his
I'm
voice? I mean,
not
okay. Let me pick
familiar
one
with the
that you.
voice. Sadly.
Yeah.
Who?
So you got to look these people up. I mean, look.
No,
Keep these
right.
people up.
I'm just
Yeah.
not really listening to them like that. Like just sit
Yeah.
down and
So
listen. Yeah.
let me give you another one that you know. No, no, that's all right. I'm gonna give you another one that you may be familiar with. How about let me try to see if someone you may who's like really more more popular. I'm trying to find a male vocalist that you may be familiar with. Okay.
Okay.
Um, Bobby Brown.
Um, I don't I don't think he's one of those people I'll call necessarily like a singer. So
I'm being
I'll
messy.
just say, yeah, yeah, I know, right? So I wouldn't really classify him really necessarily as like a singer, really, but let me just say he's all right.
Okay. Tank.
Thanks. Again, one of those
You
people I've
familiar?
not really, because I want to be very honest with my reviews. I don't want to say, oh, I've heard one
Right.
thing
Be
and I've
honest. Right.
kind of believe
Yeah.
that. I want to be sure that I've heard a few of these people's
Jamie Foxx.
content. Jimmy, oh, okay, he's good.
Okay.
He can sing, he can act. I like
Yes.
that about him. And Dreamgirls was the first time I got to really
Yes.
see him really sing. I'm like, wow,
Yes.
he can sing. Um, he's good. So I'll put him right around the he's good.
Okay.
He's good. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for playing with me. Thank you for just
Thank
indulging me.
you.
I was curious. I thank you for we're gonna play a little bit more later on, but I just
Okay.
was curious to see like what makes, like how how she what she thinks about this person as a singer,
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, but thank you for indulging me. All right. So now I just want to get more into your background if that's okay. I know you were you born and raised in Nigeria?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so you're born and raised in Nigeria. So give me more about, and I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more about your childhood because every time like I'll get into the childhood of us here, and it's totally different, like different culture, different background. So I want to know
Yeah.
your background and did you have a two-parent household, one-parent household, siblings, cousins, and how did y'all gather around? How did y'all have fun? Like what are your fondest memories and what are some of your inspirations? What type of shows did y'all watch? What type of music did you listen to? Like, I wanna get into the childhood memories of Olubumni.
All right. So I I come from a family of I have four siblings.
4
And
siblings.
sadly, my parents, yeah, sadly, so I have three brothers.
Okay.
Sadly, my parents separated when I was quite young. I think that was when I was 11 years old. And we had to, so before then, we really didn't go to church. We were just, we stayed home and we did things. And my dad, too, was a lover of music. We always listened to Michael Jackson. We heard a lot of beautiful old classic songs, Sam Cooke, like all those beautiful songs. And when things went south between my parents, my mom went to God in for the first time, and so we had to go to church. And after some months in the church, we were in the adult church, and they were like, "Oh, as children, we're very disinterested in what was going on at the time. We just wanted to play. I and my immediate sibling, he's also here in the US. He's a military man, actually. And
Mhm.
so we were here, we're like, playing in the church and making a lot of noise. And someone walked up to my mom and said, "Why don't you take your children to the teenage church? Like, they'll feel more happy there. There are things there for children to do." And so I went over, and I one day, two beautiful ladies were singing behind me, and I've never heard it other than hearing my dad play his music. I just knew anytime he was playing music, I sit down. I was no longer interested in playing, but I really couldn't
Mm.
understand why that was the case. So when they were singing, I turned back and I'm just listening to them, with so much attention. And after doing that every week, I was always looking forward to them singing because we did have a few minutes before the church started then. So I'll just let them sing for me. And one day they asked me to sing with them, and I did. And they said, "Oh, wow, she even knows how to sing on pitch." And that was the first time I heard that. I was like, "Pitch? What does that mean?" And they were like,
What is that?
"Yeah,
Yeah.
never mind. Like, you were not going flat, you were not
What is
going
it, by the
sharp."
way? You quickly tell me what it quickly tell me what that is.
You mean the flat, the
Pitch.
pitch? Yeah. So when somebody's singing on a certain key, you can also match that key. You're not like singing on another key. So
Oh,
like,
that's
oh, she can
pitch.
sing on the key.
Okay,
Yeah, on
got
the
you.
same. So
Okay,
that's what we call it
okay.
pitch. Yeah. So if I'm hitting a
Okay.
do, I want you to be able to also sing do. I don't want to say do. I say oh, do. That's not matching the pitch. So
That's off
you
pitch.
know,
Okay.
yeah, that's off pitch.
Mhm.
So
Got you.
we started doing that every Sunday, and after a while, I was introduced to the choir, and I started going. But at the time, because my dad had left at the point, and my mom was a full housewife at the time, we were struggling financially. But every time I told my mom I had to go to rehearsal, to like, there's no transportation, and I'm like, don't worry, I'm gonna have to walk to church, and I didn't hesitate. I was always looking forward to weekends to go for rehearsals, and so the passion just grew from there for me. And after a while, I began to look into other styles of music. We had people who came over to teach us more music, started delving into classical music, every other style of music. And after a while, one day I was singing and someone told me and said, "Your voice will sound beautiful on Negro spirituals." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay,
Okay.
well." And at that time, I was really more into classical music. So I was really wondering where that was coming from. And as time progressed, with the help of my father in the Lord in our church, Mountain of Fire and Miracles Ministries, I was able to get certain songs, and gradually I was getting to understand the style of music that kind of suited my voice. Songs like Mahalia Jackson,
Mhm.
Pace
Mhm.
Sisters, and all those really beautiful classic songs of people then. So the kind of songs I really did listen to back then was really more of classical music, Handel, Messiah, Mahalia Jackson. I listened to also we did listen to Mary Mary, listen to of
Okay.
course Kirk Franklin. I mean, we always did listen to him. And then a little bit of um, in between, we had some people who was in and out of gospel music here and there sometimes. So it kind of
Mm. Okay, she just froze on us. Oh, yeah, she just froze. Yeah, God, I was getting so into it, but I yeah. So let's just hopefully she'll be able to recover from that freeze real soon. But yeah, I really hope that you're enjoying this so far as much as I am. I really appreciate her her master class on vocal on the vocal experience. Yeah, but she's kind of frozen right now. So I think you need to if you can go out and come back in, if you can still hear me. Okay, yeah, so hopefully she'll be out. She's going out and she'll come back in. But I really hope that you're enjoying this experience with me, because I've always looked forward to wanting someone to come on my platform who is able to give us, to give us just, just what we need when it comes to, when it comes to your voice, when it comes to the music, when it comes to the singing, and how we can incorporate that. Yeah. So, yeah, you froze there. Okay, now you're back. Yeah, yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah, you
sorry,
was,
I wonder what
you
happened.
yeah, you was froze for a little while, but, the last thing I heard was you was talking about how, you was listening to, you was inspired by different, vocalists like Mary Mary and, Mahalia Jackson, and how,
Yeah,
when you were growing up in a church and,
yeah.
you was got it, but, what I also wanna know, not just about your musical influences, which is great, by the way. I also want to get more into your childhood. I want to get more into those memories, what y'all were into, because we, like I said, here it's different type of background, like I don't know whether you had bunk beds, or I don't know whether you had bologna sandwiches, or I don't know if you had like palace on the floor and a bunch of cousins in the house, and y'all were just playing, fighting over the TV, or you know um cereal in the morning, or some people's beginnings are different. So I want to know, like, in your, for coming from where you grew up, what's some of those childhood memories that you could think of that you could share with us?
So actually, a lot of people do have the wrong information about Nigeria.
Yes,
A
so
lot of
yes,
people think it's
school
just
us.
from people sleeping on the floor and stuff. No, I had a very beautiful life as a young child with my family. I did have a bed. Um, my father was doing very well. He worked in a company. We call it Nitel back then, a telecommunication company. So
Okay.
we were doing very well financially. We had cars. We had a very good life. We traveled a lot. We had burger. We had things like that. So we had a very good childhood. That I actually had it with my siblings. It's a little bit different because we had quite well, let's say like a big age gap between us. I mean, between just my
What's the age
immediate
gap?
brother and I are close in age. So for my immediate brother, it's just 3 years, but the one after that is 9 years, and then the next one is 13 years. So
Oh,
there's a
okay,
lot.
yes, gap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we didn't get to fight much about TV and stuff because we were at different stages in life. So my childhood was beautiful, and we had the good things of life growing up. However, that changed when my father was out of the picture. We
Mhm.
had to start all over. And at that point, the family had to go different ways. My brothers, because my mom and I and my immediate brother had to go and squat with my mom's cousins. So everyone couldn't be together again. So my two immediate brothers, senior brothers who were already adults at that point, had to go stay in different places. So we didn't really live together for so long to really get to that point where we were fighting over things. So when he left, yeah, things were tough. I'm going to say things were really tough, but we have always learned to be contented. And that's one of those things I'm very grateful to my mom for teaching me what is mine is mine. I don't look at what anyone has. I don't care how rich or poor you are. I don't really, it doesn't matter to me. I'm always more about what I can get done by myself for myself. That's always like
Gotcha.
my main
Mhm.
focus.
Mhm.
Yes, so childhood was mixed with both good and bad. The bad obviously came after my father left, and
Right.
that's one of those things I always pray that others don't encounter, children, because it has a way of kind of messing with one's
Absolutely.
emotion and
Yes.
psychological well-being. And I think that was one of the reasons why it was easy for me to gravitate towards music because it just occupied my
Yes.
time. It was just my form of comfort to me. I looked forward to it every weekend, kind of took away that thought because, being very close to your father and then suddenly he's out of the picture, it was one of those things that shook me to the point that I was like, even till now, I'm like, I'm not going to let anyone in to that point where you can just walk away one day and then leave me stranded like my father did.
Mm.
So, but
Okay,
when
so
it
your
comes
father
to
wasn't, after, I'm sorry, excuse me, I just wanted to ask you, so your father wasn't a part of your life after the separation? He wasn't present?
after the separation, absolutely. And that was the last time I saw him.
Oh, I'm
And I think that was
sorry.
in 1997. And even when
Mm.
I got married, it's okay. And I tried to reach out to him forcefully. Obviously, my mom was like, reach out to him and let
Mm,
him come through. And he said it, straight up that, okay, congratulations, but I will not be coming. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. So
mm,
even though he passed
mm,
away 2 years ago, sadly, the last time I saw him before he passed away 2 years ago was in 1997.
mm.
So yeah.
I wonder
So that's
what.
again one of the
Mm,
things they can say that music is therapeutic. For me, kind of, it was just my therapy. I don't think at that time, never thought about it that, oh, when you can go to a therapist, like you're feeling this kind of hurt. But for me, music just gave me that therapy I needed to, like, learn to live
yeah.
life without him in the picture.
Yes.
So, but overall,
Mm,
my life as a child was good, and even though he left, my mom still tried so hard to provide for us, and
yes.
we were doing okay. So, that thought about how Nigeria is not a thing. I mean, I'm sure when a lot of
Right.
people do
No,
come,
because but don't get me
eh,
wrong. I mean, I haven't been to
I
Nigeria,
know, right?
Olubumni, but I'm very much aware that Nigeria is very much it's very like I mean, we are like steps
Yeah,
behind. We are way behind. And when it comes to industrialism, when it comes to fashion, I love the fashions,
fashion and entertainment. Yeah, we love
Yes, I
things.
mean,
Yeah,
yes.
so
We are
yeah,
way
so we're
behind here. To me,
yeah.
I'm gonna give you, and pardon my
I
French,
won't
but
I won't say you're
compa-
behind. I won't say you're
no, we
behind. You're
are. No,
definitely
I'm
not
telling you,
behind.
when it comes to certain parts of, this is just me. When it comes to certain parts of Africa, US ain't shit. But I'm just saying, that's just, I'm just saying, I'm just in certain parts, in certain aspects, not everything, but certain aspects. You know, I'm just, I'm just saying. Yeah, so but yeah, but I just that's why I said I wanted to make sure that, we kind of steer clear of some of the stereotypes that may be implied in certain, from certain people. So yeah, but
Yeah.
no. But compared to most people, we ain't got nothing on
Uh,
on
if
labels. We
you
ain't got
say
nothing on
so.
labels. Yeah. But let
But
me
the life was good.
yeah, so let me get you I wanna get a little bit, into, because 'cause I'm trying to get as much as I can, from this because, I wanna get more into, your journey, your personal journey. Can I get more into your formative years, your school years? I like to get into the elementary. Did you your elementary, junior high school? Because a lot of
Yeah.
times, a lot of us don't understand how pivotal that time is, so I always like to get into the elementary and junior high school because if
Yeah.
everybody focus on college or high school, but no, the most formative years is elementary, junior high school because that's where you develop your social skills. You're becoming more
Yeah.
familiar with yourself and your anatomy. You
Mm-hmm.
gain acne. You're you
Yeah.
know you're getting into the opposite sex.
Yeah.
You may be helping on the staircase. Things things like that. I want to know like
Yeah.
how was that for you at that time,
Again,
elementary,
very
high?
easy. Well,
It
so
was
when I
easy.
started, evidently, we start with nursery school here, though some people start with what we call kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
So I can't really remember anything from then, so I don't
Right.
know if I
That's
did.
whatever you can
But
remember.
yes, nursery, easy. Primary school, it was again really good. I all my education, all the way to first degree, was all in Lagos, Nigeria. So I had my primary school in where I call Bagada, is in Lagos as well. Bagada, and was called I don't know if it's still called that now, but it was called Prime Rose Nursery and Primary School.
Primrose.
Um, Prime Rose, yeah, Prime
Primrose.
Rose. Yeah, and I did primary 1 to 5 at the time. I think that's what you call your year 1 to year 5. And then I skipped what we call the primary 6 and went to GSS 1. And then, so I went from a private school in my primary education. And when I got to secondary education, we moved to public schools. And not
Okay.
because my parents were not financially okay then, my dad was still around. But at the time, we'll say public schools were still really top notch. I mean, a lot of our great leaders did come from
Yeah,
public schools. So
absolutely.
yeah, so I did stay there till when it was GS3, and then that was when my father left at the time. So it was really very easy. Just go to school, study, come home. It was just very easy. Again, like I said, my childhood was was very good. I'm not one of those people that can sit down and say, "Oh, this bad thing happened to me." Like it was very easy. And coming home as well, I didn't have stress. My immediate brother, we were very close. We're still very close till this day.
Mhm.
And it was very easy. But then things changed when I got to what we call our SS1, which I think should be I think that should be year 10. Excuse me. And that was when the change kind of happened, because then the financial struggle started, and then
Mm.
things we used to be able to afford, we couldn't
Right.
afford. But even though
Mhm.
education was free, there were certain things that were not free. There were certain curricular activities that were not free, that we couldn't really have access to. So, and then I was able to go through the secondary education and finished, and then I moved to the university, but I didn't study music. But at that SS1, I was already very into music. So everything that mattered to me then was really more music. So when I'm done with school, I just want to head home, and do my
Right.
music thing. So again, I just feel like I started really living to really enjoy everything I was doing when I started going to church to sing, which was in SS1 at the time. And so when I got to university, I didn't study music in the university. I studied education,
Oh, you
economics
studied
education.
education,
Yes,
okay. What
yeah,
school did you go to? What college?
the, yeah. The University of Lagos is a very
And what
popular
and
university
okay,
in Nigeria. Yeah,
okay.
University of Lagos. I went to the University of Lagos, and I graduated in the year 2009. And again, it was very easy. It was very close to church, which made it even easier. I
Yeah,
mean, when I'm
right.
not in lectures, if you don't see me in the lecture room and they ask, "Where's Boumii?" My friends, they say, "Yeah, if she's not here, she's most likely in church." Like, that was really it for me. Music was like the core. And I really, now I think about it, I was wondering why I didn't actually think about going to university to study music. But I guess it was for a reason,
Yeah, because let
because
me
I'm
ask
now
you,
seeing
it
the
was for a
reason.
reason. It had to have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, so because I want to insert that real quick because when you say that you studied education, like what was your aspirations at that time? What was your overall objective as far as once you started studying and you took up a major education? What did you want to be? What did you had in mind at the time as a
So to be
career?
honest, at the time, my thought process was just to be a lawyer. I
Okay.
happened to be in that part of life because they said then there's an exam we do, we call it JAM, and that's an exam that we use as a supplement with what we our leaving school certificate. So when you're done with SS3, then you had an exam you have to do. We call it WAEC. When you do that, that is not sufficient enough to get you into the university. You need to have that JAM exam result as well. So when I did that, there was a cutoff mark that we were required to be able to be admitted to certain courses. So I happened to not meet the one I intended to go for, which was law. And then I tried to say, okay, let me do pure economics, since that was something else I'd love to do. I loved anything that has to do with accountability, things like that. I was very good
Mhm.
at it at that time. I
Got
felt
you.
I would fit very well into economics. So I tried to do that as well. And they said, oh, my result was still below the expected mark to get into that course. And so I'm like, okay, what else is my option at the time? And I didn't want to stay home any longer at that time because I'd been home for 2 years after I finished my senior secondary school,
Okay.
because I was unable to like get the admission. I mean, University of Lagos was like really one of those schools that was like everybody wanted to go there. So I was like, I'm not going anywhere else. I want to stay here in Lagos. I will try the next year. So when they gave me the option of the economics education, I'm like, okay, well, I'll take it. I mean, I'm already doing something like that already. While I was waiting to get into university, I was already teaching in a primary school. I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm doing that already and I love it. Let me just go ahead and do it. And since it still has that economics there, that means I'm
Right.
still going to be doing economics, but this time around, I'll be able to teach others economics. And so I went ahead and went for it. So initially, that was not where I intended to go
Right.
um,
Right.
in university. Yeah.
So how did you get into okay, so a couple it's like a multi question here. So
Yeah.
once you got into because apparently education is what got you into teaching, hence you being a vocal coach. So it
Yeah.
kind of made sense. But
Yeah.
at that
Kind of.
time, what made you decide, okay, not only am I teaching, and I got this love for music. I have this talent for singing. So how did it all come together of you becoming a vocal coach? Can you give me that transition?
Yeah. So after I was done with my university, just at the time I finished my university, the same year I got married, and I had to suspend. So there's something we call in Nigeria. After you finish in the university, you have to serve your country for 1 year. We
Mm,
call it NYSC. That's the abbreviation for it. And I was unable to do it at the time because I was already pregnant with my daughter. And so when I was done having my kids, I went back and did that 1 year. So when I finished, I used that degree I got and I started working as a civil servant in Lagos State. And I did that for some years. But in 2021, I wanted to go and do my MBA in the United Kingdom. So I said, okay, I'm going. And I went to the United Kingdom with my children, and I went to do that. So when I was done with the MBA, I returned back to Lagos. But before I left, I'd already left my job as a civil servant. So I was looking for what else I was going to be doing. I mean, I now have this master's degree. So what am I going to do? And there's something about me when God wants me to do something, there's this restlessness I always have. Like I won't be able to
mm,
concentrate on any other thing. It will keep coming my way. Someone will say something about it, or something will happen that will show me. So I was really restless. And one day I was like, why am I restless? And then it dropped in my
right,
spirit, teach people what you do. And I'm like, okay, like people have been telling me this, but how do I teach them? And they're like, social media. I'm like, I'm an introvert. I mean, how do I sit in front of a camera?
mhm,
And I'm like, no way, I'm not doing that. And I started fighting with this. I refused to do it for a few months. And I kept having just this restlessness. Something is just wrong. I have to like, you know, act fast about it. And so one day I said, okay, what will it take me to? I'm just going to do a video. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to show examples of the right things to do. I just did
o
that. And then
okay,
yeah, that was, I
that
mean,
picked
the
up.
feedback was good, the comments, and I'm like, wow, okay, okay,
Yes,
maybe I should do this. And then the next one I did was on the range, testing the range. Oh, hi, how low can you sing? And that was my first viral video. And I'm like, okay, I think I have to take this instruction very seriously. And I remember on my way
mhm,
back to Nigeria at the time, I was concerned about it that if I live here now, I mean, I've left my job. What am I going to do? And God just said, go, um, just seek the kingdom of God first, and every other thing will be added onto you. Just obey. Just know you
yes,
will not
yes,
starve.
mhm,
And I'm like, okay,
mhm,
I'll
mhm,
go. And even though I had no plan, I got on that plane and I obeyed. So when I did this and I saw it was working, I'm like, okay, I think it's time for me to take this teaching seriously. And so I started asking, telling people I was teaching, and right away, it's just as if they were all waiting for me to say it. And then students began to show up for lessons. And that was how the journey started for me. So it wasn't my intention to start teaching people what I know,
right. It
but
just
it was just like God
yeah, it
just
just
said,
happened.
and I
Yeah,
had to do it. And as time progressed, I understood why. Because when I was growing up, it was hard to really have mentors right around me who did the
yes,
style of music like
mhm,
really was something that resonated with me personally. Because in Nigerian culture, we do have our, patterns of singing. So for me, I was already that person who seemed to stand out for just liking certain styles of music. So being able to teach people how to get to their destination quicker saves them a lot of the years it took me to learn how to do that. So I was
yes,
really, really happy about the impact that obeying that instruction has been
yes.
doing till
Yes, that's wonderful. I love that story, and,
now.
I wanna also ask you is, to become a vocal coach and just kind of like, kinda give the guidance and the steps that you just said about, and you started off with social media. Is there any type of specialized training that you have to have in order to teach others? Like, what
Absolutely. So over
the
the years, I've always been
Mhm.
someone who loves to learn, but I was learning all those things just for my own personal use.
Right, right.
I've been going to a lot of courses on vocal pedagogy, just trying
Yes.
to learn about the anatomy of the voice, singing in
Mm,
general,
mhm.
the voice, what goes on inside when we sing. I've been in 2016, I was in New York for a jazz academy course. So I'm always in fact, I make my summer is more of a time when I set out to like learn something new. And I do that every year. Where summer is okay, I'm traveling, I need to go find something new information. So I was doing that. I also
Yes,
have a degree in the foundation of singing, in the UK, the vocology. I have a vocalogy certificate as well. So I didn't just take on the role like, oh, I'm just going to teach people
just
random things. I
dive
already
into it, right.
knew so much about it, but I was doing those things for just my personal use. But at the
Yes,
time, I also did obey God, and I took it a little bit more further, doing more trainings again, just to make sure that I'm up to date with what is going on, what are
yes,
the new things
yes.
we're learning about the voice, and it's scary. So yeah, I'm not just someone who has said I'm just gonna lean on my experience to teach people. Not at all. Like I have, and I am still
You're still
getting
learning. You're still a
degrees.
work in progress.
Absolutely, we're still on this.
Yeah. And so, you mentioned, now how many children do you have now? Because I know you mentioned,
Yeah, I have two beautiful
you have
children.
2, and
Yeah.
are they musically inclined as well? Are
Well,
they
one of them is, yeah, he loves to play the keyboard, but my
Oh,
daughter
cool.
that I thought will will take her after me and love music is not really into music. So sadly, yeah, no. So we're family. We're a family of music. We're a music family. My husband is also a keyboardist, so we love music.
Oh, nice,
But yeah,
nice.
just my daughter doesn't seem to like music, but every other person, we're good to go with music.
Yeah, but I just really enjoying this, and just being able to kinda, like, take so much from, your experience, and I'm just and, lately, Olubumni, I was just saying how these last few interviews, to me, they're more master classes. I've been getting these
Hmm,
master classes. So between yourself and I just had an actor, his name is Fred Taylor. He was giving
okay.
me like, I mean, I've had other actors and directors on, but he gave me like such a deeper view of
Hmm,
the actor's experience, and you give me your, I mean, I didn't have to even pick your brain at all. You actually was giving me the gems that I needed. So I didn't have to do much.
thank
So
you.
I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. So
Thank you.
that, and then I'm also was getting a master class because I had someone in my family who's an author of a
Okay.
she's a children's book author, and she broke down not only about her journey towards self-publishing, but she gave me how she was able, and mind you, she's visually impaired, mind you, and she
Oh,
was
wow.
able to tell me how she's able not only to write the words out and give the story, how to put the pages together and how to use this software and how to put how to bind the book. I mean, she gave me a master class. So
Oh, wow.
this is so amazing to me. These last few interviews, it seemed like I'm been getting such an amazing master class. And the fact that it's on my
Wow, that's
platform, I'm just
beautiful.
so proud of that.
That's beautiful. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just have to
Cool.
insert that in there. I had to really insert that in there. Um, but before I want to have a little fun with you, a little bit more fun with you. But before that, I want to ask you. I just want to make sure that we cover our bases when it comes to your journey, when it comes to your background. I want to make sure that I get as much of that as possible before we move into the next thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So is anything else? I want to make sure. I want to make sure that we covered everything.
Yeah, I think so. Really, that's just it. I think that's the most important things that I've
Yes.
really talked about. Like I said, music has always been the center of my childhood, and I've had a very good experience growing up. I
Yes.
can't really say there's anything that I feel like is really bad. No, it's just one of those things that were out of my control, like parents fighting, and then we were, in the middle of all of that. But other than that, I think when I look back, I've had a very good
Yes.
upbringing. Yeah, it's been good. Nothing missed
Yeah.
at all.
Mhm. I just remembered. This is something I really wanted to ask you. Very, very
Okay.
poignant question.
Like,
Now, was there ever a moment or moments in your life where you sang in color?
I
And
did
I want
what?
you. I want you to really think about it. I want you to like kind of let that sizzle in your spirit, like Country Wayne would
Yeah,
say.
I didn't get the
Let it know.
question.
Yeah. Oh, I want you to honestly tell me, was there a moment or moments in your life where it caused you to sing in color? If that
Singing
makes sense.
color?
Yes. Like, let me
Yeah, I
give you
think
example. I'm explain that.
okay.
Any type of milestones in your life or anything any peak performances in your life, any rites of passages or any important moments in your life where it made you sing in color. Your sound, your voice was so like it was bigger, and
Because of
your
the
voice,
event?
huh?
Because of the event? You
Yes,
mean
in your
because
life,
of
yes,
what happened? Okay.
yes.
Well, so for me, every time I hold a microphone, I take it very seriously. And anything I'm going through, regardless of it being good or bad, is just gonna stay there until I'm done. And my friends and my colleagues know every time I have few minutes to go on stage, you can't play with me nor laugh with me. I'm not in that mood right now. I'm focused on what I have to do. I don't know you before I get on that stage when I'm done. So I'll say every time I hold the microphone, I make it a duty to always sing like something good has happened to
It
me.
would, yeah. And
But
what was those moments where it made you sing that way? What was some of those moments that made you get more into your craft and really, you know,
yeah, so the thing
love
there
it?
is for you to be, I always tell people for you to really do your work well as a singer, because we're going to have times when things don't go our way, but
Mhm.
people who are listening to you are seeing you can't feel that energy. At the time when you're doing what you're doing, it has to be the message that is the core thing to you. So for me, I have just trained myself over the years to just get used to it. Anytime it's time to sing, I separate the world, my world. Some people do have they call it there's a name they call it. They have like a stage name. I forgot it. There's a word they call it. Um,
Mm.
Alter ego. I don't do that.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
yes, okay,
learn.
yes.
Yeah. So some people do that to kind of manage what you're saying, because if you allow certain events to give you a certain color, then when the bad events happen, it's also gonna affect
Some
your
darkness.
performance. That you don't want to get to a point
Mm.
where you are
Mhm.
in certain important venues and unfortunately you're facing something at that moment and they feel that energy. So for me, I've never really allowed events, good or bad, to affect what I'm about to do. Even some few minutes before I hit the stage, sometimes something bad happens that really gets me a little bit upset, but I'm just going to hold that mic and let it go for that time. Focus on what I have to do. I always try to make sure every time I hold the mic, I give that great color
Yes,
to whatever I do. So
yes.
I'm not really that
Okay,
kind of
yes.
person that is moved by that fluctuates with the emotions that I'm feeling at the moment. No, I just see it as a duty, as a calling. And when I'm holding that microphone, I'm focused on the message that I'm delivering as a messenger. So I do not really allow anything around me
Mm,
to
mhm.
impact what I'm doing.
Okay, yeah, that well said. Thank you for that. And
Yeah.
so right now, I'm gonna have a little fun with you. Now, is this a particular segment that I really want to do with you? And
Okay.
but before we get to that, there's a game that I particularly like to play with my guests. It's called This or That. All right.
Okay.
Here they come, yo. Here they come.
All right. So this or that. So I'm gonna come up with two things, and you have to choose one or the other. You can't plead the
Okay.
fifth. You can't say both. You got to choose one or the other. All right. And I'm
Okay.
gonna say it's gonna be hard for you, but I think you got this one. All
Oh.
right. Yeah. And also, if you're not familiar with a particular thing that I say, just let me know so I could change it because you have to be familiar with both
Okay.
things. All right.
All
Now,
right.
now, have you traveled much?
Oh
Like
yeah.
within. Okay. So now, Vegas or New Orleans?
New Orleans.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. So jollof rice with chicken or
Okay.
stew with fufu.
Oh no, jollof rice. We don't do fufu much here. No way. Yeah,
So
we do the rice.
yeah. So now you mentioned some of these because some of these are good music inclined. You mentioned some of these singers. So Kelly Kelly Price or Jennifer Hudson.
Ooh. Okay, Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah. You seem like
Yeah,
you're a fan of hers, huh? You're a fan, aren't you?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
um
Kelly Price is also very good. I
yes.
love
Oh
the
yeah,
song.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, so Ella Fitzgerald or Billie Holiday?
Ella. Ella.
Ella?
I
Okay.
love listening to her songs as well. I mean, Scott, she's the Scott queen. Like, I love her a lot.
Yes,
A lot.
yes. Yes,
A
that's
lot.
true.
She's really
Yeah.
impressive. The way she uses her voice as an
Mhm.
instrument in itself is just
Mhm.
one of those things like, oh yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, yes, yes. I am
Yeah.
too. Yeah, but I'm always been yeah, but I've always been fascinated. I had a fascination for Billie Holiday. I just had this fascination for
Oh,
her for a long
I
yeah, for
just
all my life. Yeah. Yeah, it's
she's
something
so
about her. Yeah,
amazing.
something about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mahalia Jackson. I'm gonna get you on this one. I'm gonna get you stuck on this one. So listen closely now. Listen closely. Um, Mahalia Jackson or Rosetta Starr, sister Rosetta Starr.
So I'm definitely going to go with Mahalia because she has always been such a huge part of my
It's like
identity right now. So yeah, I'm going to go with the one and
okay,
only Mahalia Jackson. Yeah.
all right, hands down. Okay, all right. Bow to the Queen of Gospel, Queen of Music.
Yeah,
Okay, Queen of Gospel,
absolutely.
Queen of
Yeah.
Gospel. Okay, all right. So Lettucey or Angie Stone.
Mm. So I know Angie Stone a lot, but not Legacy. So I
Lettucey.
wouldn't want to
Okay,
be
all right.
biased. Yeah, not really.
Okay, so I'll change it. I'll change it. No problem.
Okay.
All right. So, how about this? I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Um,
Okay.
do you like I don't know if you had any of this before. It's like part of my childhood, but um, because since we in the summer now, do you like the ice
Okay.
cream, like soft serve ice cream or shaved ice, snow cone,
I'll do the soft. Yeah,
the
soft.
soft serve? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So, do you prefer cruising or direct flights to destination? Cruising or direct flight?
Direct flights. I hate being on water. So anything cruise, we're
You don't
not
like
doing that. Yeah,
oh,
we're
you
going
don't like
straight.
it?
No
Oh,
wasting time. Let's get to where we're going.
really? But it's like so much that shout out to AT2. Yeah, I mean so much to do on a cruise though. You know, you won't even think about being in the water on the water because there's so much going on, you know?
I don't know because
Yeah.
I have like the phobia for for water, so I'm not
You
even
do?
thinking about it. Phobia,
Oh.
the
Oh,
phobia for water.
wow.
So
Okay.
we're not doing that. I'll rather do
Oh,
the flight. Thank you.
okay. I know. All right. I totally respect that. I totally understand that. Dogs or cats?
Oh, dogs.
Oh, you're okay, dog lover. Okay. Um, fishes or turtles?
Fishes, because I really do not have much encounter with turtles, so I'm
Really?
just gonna go with
Uh,
fishes.
okay, got you,
Fish.
got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, orchids or roses?
Roses.
Yeah. Okay. Let me. I don't know if you're familiar, but just let me know. If you understand what I'm going to say. Speaker
Okay.
box or love below?
No, no, I'm not used. I'm not familiar with that.
I was gonna see if you knew. Let me ask you. Let me ask you. Are you familiar with Outkast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Outcast, the movie,
No, no.
or which
The
one?
hip hop is a hip. There's a hip hop group. Is a hip hop group.
Okay. I
Let
think
me
I know the group you're talking about. Okay, okay.
yeah. Let me see if you familiar with this song. Ain't nobody don't pass me. I'm dressed so fresh and clean. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Outkast. That's Outkast.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So Outkast, they had this album. It was like they were still together, but Big Boy and Dre, they always had their own distinct, kind of style of music. So
Okay.
they had a split album called Speaker Box, which is
Oh,
on
well.
Big Boy side, and then the Love
Okay.
Below was Dre 3000. So Speaker Box, Love
Okay.
Below. So
Okay.
that's where that came from. All right. So I
Oh,
just wanted to give
okay.
you a little bit of context. I was
Okay.
wondering. I
Okay.
said, I
Got it.
wonder if she knows about that. I wonder if she knows
Yeah,
about Speaker
definitely
Box.
did. Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. That's why I say you gotta look these up. You gotta look these up when you get. All right. So chicken or fish?
Chicken.
Yeah, that's from the Steak on Your album. Yes, that is. That's Fresh and Clean. It's from the Steak on Your album. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, Hyundai or Toyota?
Okay, Toyota, definitely. Because Honda doesn't have a really good reputation in Nigeria, sadly, with the leg of
Oh, okay,
the
okay.
car. So yeah, definitely Toyota any day.
All right. All right. So let
Yeah.
me ask you. All right. Tubi or Netflix?
Definitely Netflix. Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah,
Okay.
Netflix.
All right. Well, that's all right. Thank you for playing with me. So now
Thank
I'm
you.
yes, but now, like I said before, there's another segment here, right? 'Cause-
Okay.
So that is what I play with all my guests. That's something that's like a routine thing. But these
Okay.
other these are particular for certain people that I bring on. All right.
All right. Yeah.
I got my board ready, so I'm gonna put some things on, and
Okay.
it's gonna be certain phrases or certain scenarios I'm gonna put on this board, and whatever
Okay.
you're gonna sing about it, you're gonna have a song for it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this is called "Sing It How You Read It."
Yeah, yeah. Yo, Addison, singing challenge.
All right. So let me and I just looking forward to for you for this one. I gotta hear this one. What you come up with. All right. And I want you to just give it all your might because you never know who's watching, Olubumni. You never know who's watching. So you better give this, you better give it, what you got. You never
Okay.
know who might pick this up. They might take you on a roll with this. You never know. You might go on a roll with this. You might collaborate with somebody on this. All right. So
Okay.
yeah. Let me
Um, pee on the toilet seat.
come on, sing it now. Sing about it. Go
Okay.
ahead, sing about it.
Don't pee on the toilet seat, 'cause it is nasty, don't you know? You're not the only one using the bathroom, so why do you see pee on the toilet seat?
Oh, I
It
like
is not a good habit to adopt, so please change your bad ways.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Let me see what you got for this one though. Let me see what you got this.
Okay, dating app for a sneaky link.
What?
Hmm. Don't attend, don't log into a dating app for a sneaky link. Don't do that. When you go on a dating app, go for love. Don't you go for a sneaky link.
Oh, okay. I did this with somebody else, but I want to hear this one.
Okay.
I want to hear what you. I want to hear your take on this one.
Okay.
All right. So here we go.
Uh, can't
Hold on.
see.
Okay, I think. Okay.
Okay. Oh, sorry. You have to come a little bit. Scooping out to jam. I don't know. What is that?
Toe jam.
No.
Toe jams is it's like a build up between your toes. You
Oh,
never
oh,
heard of
wow.
toe jam? Okay, okay.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change it. Yeah, but
Okay.
that's what it is. It's like
Oh,
sometimes you might get
really?
that little build up between your toes. People don't want to,
Okay.
don't wash their feet thoroughly. Sometimes,
Oh,
they
wow.
get
That's
that
for
toe
hygiene.
jam.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
really?
but okay, no, but let me give you something. I'm gonna give you something else. Let me give you something else.
Okay.
All right. So, all right. Let me. Oh, so while I'm thinking of something, can you this is something I like to ask. These are like my final two questions before we wrap up. So while I'm thinking of something because I want to think of something real good for this. Can you
Okay.
give me five people, if you could choose five people at the CDA table, dead or alive, who would they be
Hmm.
and why? And I need the why for each person.
Okay. Well, I don't know if they'll be up to five though, but definitely Jesus. I
Why?
mean, I had the opportunity to meet the one who, sacrificed himself for our salvation. I would have loved to meet him in person. So if I
Mm,
have to
wow.
sit, yeah, with five people, that would definitely be one. if I have to sit with someone else within, let me say, my family, I would have loved to meet at least one of my grandparents. I never got to meet any of them. Oh well, I did meet my grandmother from my
Mhm.
paternal side, but really not much experience. I think my grandfather from my paternal side, I would have loved to sit down with him because I heard some really interesting things about him. I would have loved to be able to like get to meet that person. Of course, Mahalia Jackson is one of those people to me
Yeah, of course.
musically. Yeah, I just have to pick someone from the music family. Definitely, it's going to have to be Mahalia. So those are those who are not
That's
alive
3.
right
That was 3,
now.
right?
Yeah, three. So
Mm.
I would love to pick two who are alive right now. That's really a tough one, really, because really
Wait,
there's
who'd you say?
maybe
Oh,
maybe Oprah. I don't know.
oh,
Maybe Oprah because she was able to do something that was very unique and that we found very um, amazing that a woman could achieve such greatness and such influence all over the world. I know some people have negative things to say about her, but just the
right.
ability to really build an empire like she did. I think if I needed something like that from someone who's alive, I would love someone who can really empower me. And, I'm really more on people being able to support you than to just give you things like free. Like, tell me what it takes for me to also get myself to a certain level, rather than just don't worry, I'll take care of everything. I tend to seem to like people who do that. Then maybe fifth one. Really, I've never thought about this, but maybe I'll choose a man this time around. I'm trying to think. Is there anyone in particular that I I have? Hmm, no, 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 no. Honestly, I think um, I don't know. Really, there's no one in particular that I can really. I've never thought about wanting to sit with people, but maybe. That's tough. Really, I'm trying to think. I want to
I
be
know
really
it
honest.
is.
Yeah, I really want to be honest about what I'm saying. Male, female. Maybe I'll just have to go back to the music family. I'll rather pick. Maybe I'll pick Karen Clark Shields. I think she's someone that I
Yes.
do
Okay.
honestly appreciate her
Yes.
talent. I mean, she's just beyond even a talent to me. She's just one of those people that are just God's gift, to the world.
Yes.
And she's living. And I think of all those that are alive that really do music, I think she's one of those people that I really, really admired on that deep level that I'll say, if I had the opportunity to sit with her again,
Yes.
it's still all about empowerment. Tell me some things, teach me
Yes.
some things, that I can really use in my own personal journey, musical
Yes.
journey. Yeah, I think that's the five I'll
Okay.
choose.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, so now who would get the big piece of chicken and why?
So good thing about me, I do not do partiality. My family, they know I do not have any favorites. So there is no favoritism in my world. No, we're going to do things the right way. Definitely the senior child is going to get it. The eldest child is going to get the biggest chicken. We don't do favorites here. So definitely who is the eldest gets the biggest.
No, but so out of the 5 at the table, that's what I mean. Out of the 5 at the table.
At the table, but again, I love them all for different reasons. So, but if I have to choose, definitely we'll be giving it to Jesus. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, the sacrifice was a
Duly
lot. So
noted.
yeah,
Duly
yeah,
noted.
definitely. Yeah.
And so before I get to my final question, I got another one.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. That's uh-oh. Is that twerking
It's working.
in the back of the church? Oh, that's a no-no.
Let
um,
'em know.
don't twerk at the back of the church, 'cause it's not good. As a child of the Savior, do what is right. Don't twerk at the back of the church, 'cause it ain't good. Your mama, your papa is gonna be sad. Don't twerk at the back of the church.
Yeah, that was a good one. And one final one right here. Um, just a little plug, just a little plug-in.
Okay. Oh, I can't see. Uh, like, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay. Okay. Faith is the substance. Come on, join the show. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the show. You will never regret it. It's a time full of fun. Faith is the substance. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you
Yeah,
for having me.
clip that. I'm gonna clip that. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely clip that and use that for some of my videos. But before you go, I want to make sure that I ask this question. And I gotta ask this one final question to you,
Okay.
and I want to know and this is a question I take from the late James Lipton from inside the actor studio. So Olubumni Adeyeye,
Yeah.
when you enter into the pearly gates, what would you want God to say?
Well done. Oh,
Yes.
well done. And that's one of my favorite words.
Yes, but I get
Well
that.
done.
Yes. That's real
Yeah. I
popular.
just
That's real
want him to
popular
be
one.
proud of me and say,
Yes.
well done. That's
Because
it.
I mean, I think we all want that step of approval from him. I mean, and
Yeah.
so right here, right now, Olubumni, I want to just make sure that once again, I want to let you know how well you've done, so
Oh, thank
far
you so
on this
much.
earth and all
Thank
the
you.
gems that you provided for me, the master class you gave to myself and my audience. And I just want to give you much abundant blessings to for everything that you're doing and what you are going to do in all your endeavors. So I want to make sure that I give you your flowers while you're here
Oh,
that are
thank
well deserved.
you.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I just want to thank you so so very much for
Thank you
just
so much
sharing
for
this space
having
with
me as
me.
well. I mean, it was
Yeah.
fun. I enjoyed every moment of
Oh,
it. Thank
oh,
you.
good. See, that's what I need to hear too. Thank you for that.
Thank
Because it's
you.
such. I mean, I get anxiety every time.
Oh,
Like
wow.
every single time. Yes, believe it
It
or
was
not, I
amazing.
really
You're
do.
good at what you do. Thank you so
Thank you
much
so much.
for doing what
Thank
you
you.
do.
But so hopefully, you like and share and subscribe to my channel as well, Miss
Absolutely, I
Adeyeye.
will. Oh,
Yes, yes.
absolutely. Yeah, I will. I will. Immediately after the show, I will definitely
Yes,
do that.
absolutely, and I also hopefully you're able to join me back again because like I was saying before, I'm trying
Anytime.
to get some panels together, and I'm trying
Okay.
to get some topics together at least once a month, have some different
Okay.
panel discussions. So hopefully, if I reach out to you, hopefully be available for
Oh,
that as
to
well.
anytime.
Yeah,
Anytime.
absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Olubumni Adeyeye, y'all. Yeah, give it up to her. Absolutely. Yes, yes, and I hope you have a blessed one.
I will, and you too.
Uh,
Bye.
bye. Yes, that was Olubumni Adeyeye. I'm international, y'all. I just got it like that at this point. I'm just international up in this platform now. That's such a blessing, right? That I'm able to just engage with so many people from different walks, different cultures, different backgrounds, and that's what I wanted this to be. My platform to be a safe space for different cultures, perspectives, just different, just a diversified type of platform. So just having her here to give us that, to give us her time, give us share her journey, give us a craft, and just share that with us. It was such an amazing time. And so I hope that you enjoy this. I really thank those who came in. Shout out to AT2. Make sure you subscribe to him. I had such a good time with him in Vegas this past weekend. So thank you so much for being here. And so I hope that if you don't see me between now and this coming Saturday, please make sure that you tune in. I'm going to be interviewing with photographer, cinematographer, and for my videographer. He goes by the name of Michael Grazioso. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but hopefully he'll let me know this coming Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope that you're able to make it through at that time. But in the meantime, I just really am grateful for you guys to come through. And since there's all this singing going on, I think I want to have Tamara sing us out, and hopefully you will.
Comment and share. Don't make you aware. Faith is the substance.